So the very first practical suggestion is, fill your minds with healthy thoughts. When you get up in the morning, take up the saying of a great one, a saint, a sage, a mystic, and keep on repeating that thought to yourself over and over again. Even while you are working, you can save a few seconds. Every hour brings to you 3,600 seconds. You save 10 seconds and repeat the thought to yourself. To my friends, I often say, pick up the thought, Deena Bandhu, Deena Nath, Meri Dori, Tere Haath. Deena Bandhu, Deena Nath, Meri Dori, Tere Haath. O Lord of the lowly, of the forlorn and the forsaken ones, I surrender the thread of my life in your safe hands, and I know everything is going to be well. Deena Bandhu, Deena Nath, Meri Dori, Tere. Keep on repeating that, even while you are working. Save 5 seconds, 10 seconds after every hour. And repeat this. You can repeat it for 5 times if you can save 10 seconds. Deena Bandhu, Deena Nath, Meri Dori, Tere Haath. I tell you, during the very first week of practicing the simple sadhana, you will find that you grow in awareness and you will be able to do more work. The quantity, the volume of your work will increase. The quality of your work will increase. And we go to the second practical suggestion. The second practical suggestion is, never criticize anyone. Never look into the faults of others. Remember, whatever you see in others, you are only drawing to yourself. Whatever you see in others, you are only heaping on yourself. If you are seeing faults in others, you are heaping those faults on yourselves. You are giving your friends free laundry. You are cleansing them. But you are taking all that dirt into yourself. Therefore, criticize no one. Do not be a fault-finding man. There are so many who immediately their attention will go to faults. They are made that way, but they can change themselves. Change your attitude and you change your life. I may have spoken to you today 100,000 words. But some of you, I am sure, will find out 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 mistakes in those 100,000 words and concentrate on those 5 words. The remaining 99,995 words you will forget. That is not a correct attitude. The correct attitude is to see virtues in others. You have heard the name of Baha'u'llah, the great prophet of the Baha'i faith, the most modern faith, Baha'i faith. Baha'u'llah used to say again and again to his disciples, to his devotees, that if ever you find a man who has 9 vices and 1 virtue, think of the 1 virtue, forget the 9 vices. If ever you see a man with 9 virtues and 1 vice, forget the 1 vice, remember, consider, pay attention to the 9 virtues. As you think of the virtues of others, you yourself keep on growing better and better, nobler and nobler. And your mind will be at peace, and all around you will smile. And never say about a thing, this may be practical suggestion number 3, never say about anyone, never say about any project that it will never work without giving it a chance to prove itself. There are people who are made that way. You speak to them of a new project and they will say it is impossible. It will never work. They will point to problems. They will not think of solutions. There is a man, he says, bring me the solution and I'll give you the problem. We don't need problem-oriented people. We need solution-oriented people. The correct attitude is the attitude of thinking of solutions, not problems. There are so many people. You speak to them of any new project, oh, it is impossible, this cannot happen. This cannot happen. Who are you to determine whether it will happen or not? Bishop Wright. Bishop Wright, I think he delivered a sermon in which he said it is impossible for man to fly. It is impossible for man to fly. God has reserved this privilege of flying for birds and for angels. It's impossible for man to fly. 10 years later, in the year 1903, his own two sons, I think Orville and Grenville, those were the names of the two sons, they invented the first aeroplane. Just imagine. Robert Fulton, he was the inventor of the first steamboat, and he wanted to give a demonstration on the Hudson River. A crowd gathered to see a boat move, a boat without sails, a boat without oars. This was the first steamboat that ever was made. And among the crowd there were many who were critics. And they kept on shouting, this will never move. It has no sails, it has no oars. This boat will never move. But it moved. And when it moved, those very people began to shout, it will never stop. Never say about a thing that it will never work. And this takes me to the third or fourth, whatever you call it, practical suggestion. If you want to change your attitude, you must make your heart a singing heart. Today people have forgotten how to sing. Today we live in an age of technology. Techniques has caught the heart of man, and we have forgotten how to sing. As I said, pick up a tune such as Deena Bandhu, Deenanath, Meri Dori, Tere Haath, or Tuma Bina Meri, Kaun Khabar Le, Govardhan Girdhari, or a tune like Jisake Sir Upar Tu Mera Sain, Wo Dukh Kaisa Paave. Or if there are any Christian friends of mine here, they can repeat, they can take up the tune, God is my shepherd and I shall not want. Hum it to yourself again and again. When you get up in the morning, before you open your eyes, before you leave your bed, hum this tune at least 10 times. Deena Bandhu, Deenanath, Meri Dori Te. Each one of us is a bathroom singer. We don't have to sing before the public, but we can sing to ourselves. As we sing to ourselves, we will develop a singing heart. And once our heart starts to sing, our attitude will always be a correct one. Pick up any tune that you like. Keep on humming to yourself. And as I told you, every hour brings to us 3,600 seconds. Just save 10 seconds after every hour and hum to yourself. You can even hum silently. It's not necessary that you do it orally, loudly. But keep on doing it so that your heart becomes a singing heart. I know of children, as they go about, they keep on singing. Of such, said Jesus, is the kingdom of heaven, which is the kingdom of happiness. And this takes us to practical suggestion number 5. Practical suggestion number 5 is cultivate faith in the goodness and the caring power of God. Cultivate faith in the goodness and the caring power of God. God is all love. God is all wisdom. He is too loving to punish, too wise to make a mistake. Therefore, in everything that happens, because everything happens according to the will of God, not a leaf stirs except it be His will. And because He is our Father, every day we pray, do we not? Tvameva mata, cha pita tvameva. Every day we offer the Sikh Guru's prayer, Tu mata pita hum baraka tere. Millions of Christians, billions of Christians all over the world, they repeat the prayer that was given them by blessed Jesus. Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. In our prayers, we address God as our Father and as our Mother. But in our daily life, do we live as children? Have you ever seen a child living under a cloud of worry, fear, anxiety? That child knows its mother is near. It has not to fear. Have you ever seen a child, you give it food to eat, and he goes and hides a portion of it somewhere, lest he may not be given food again? He is absolutely sure the mother is there. She has given me food now. She will give me food again at the right time. Live like children. Cultivate faith in the goodness and the caring power of God. There is a meaning of mercy in everything that happens, everything underlying. We may not be able to see the mercy in a particular event or incident at that time. But a time will come when it will be revealed to us that there was a mercy in what we regarded as a calamity, as an adversity, as a misfortune. There was a shopkeeper. He started from scratch. He built up a flourishing business. After several years of hard work, he took a holiday. He went out for a fortnight. He had built a furniture shop. He had started as a carpenter, but then he developed it into a furniture shop. He had so many employees working under him, but he went out for a fortnight for a holiday after years of laborious work. When he returned, he was told that in his absence, his shop, his house, everything had caught fire and everything was reduced to shambles. Mr. Shankar told us that a similar thing had happened to this hall a few years ago, and it was our beloved Dr. V. Subramaniam who has rebuilt this. And this furniture merchant, when he returned, he found his dreams, his aspirations reduced to ashes and dust. But he was a man of faith. He said there must be a meaning in it. He fixed a pole on those ashes and took up a cardboard. On it he wrote the words, shop burnt, furniture burnt, house burnt, but faith not burnt shall restart tomorrow. There was a man of faith. There was a man of faith.
Om Brahma Kripa Hi Kevalam, Krishna Kripa Hi Kevalam, Guru Kripa Hi Kevalam. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.